timer on. No one asked me. No one asked me why I'm wearing a baseball cap. Actually, it's okay because my hair is so greasy. So I was like, we're going to wear a baseball cap today. But like, she's cute though. I don't know. My oldest sister says that our whole family doesn't look good in baseball caps. And I remembered the exact moment she told me that. And it made me forever sad because I thought I looked fucking adorable. I think I look cute. Anyways, hi. Welcome back to Take with the Grain of Salt. I'm Maddie. If you've never heard of me, I'm really cool, I think, anyway. And yeah, welcome back. It's me. So let's put everything out on the table right now. I want you with me right in this moment. And I'm just going to say a couple things. One, which one do I say first? It doesn't even matter. One, I took a hit of my Benjamin. So, hi, Maddie, or coming into hi, Maddie, can inside feel very like spirally, like I have 5 different voices in my head, but outwardly it looks completely fine, but inwardly I'm like, I'm not going to make sense. So you might just hear a lot of maybe, you might just see me hear my inner voices, like truthfully, especially if you're on video. But one, I'm high, so just stay with me and I'll probably make sense. Two, if you are on video, don't mind my room or my living room. It's like a little dirty right now and it feels very like colorful. I don't know. 3, it is a Monday. Let me gather myself. Hold on. See, we're starting. I took a really big hit. I'm sorry. It's Monday? Yeah, it's fuck. Okay, yeah. It's Monday and it's 7:30 and physically I have a lot of energy. Physically I could go on a run, but mentally I'm a little bit lazy. So I was supposed to go on a run after work, but I chose not to. However, I still was like, okay, Maddie, if you're not going to move your body, still listen to your body in some way and do something like creative, something that's going to at least let you, I don't know, like bring the feelings to the surface. Because, bitch, when the moon is in Scorpio, and this is not some placebo thing for me, all right? Like, I deeply connect to this. When the moon goes into Scorpio, like every moon cycle, like it, so the moon is in Scorpio frequently. It's like every few weeks, I don't know, goes through the wheel. I turn so emo. And it's emo in the way where it's like familiar, where, oh, I feel like my depressed 15 to 19-year-old Maddie, you know, where I was just always like sad or just feeling like victim-y, which, oh my God, that's perfect. It leads me into, I just remembered what I kind of also wanted to talk about on this podcast is talking about the victim complex and how us as humans, we just slip into that role. And sometimes it's valid, but sometimes it shouldn't be an excuse of at least like, nope, I can't get distracted. Ah, fuck. I'm going to get distracted for a second. Damn it. I went on Instagram and there's this thrifted store that my sister follows and she sends me things that she thinks I would look good in. And I'm trying to go to the Renaissance fair with her eventually, and there was this dress at at the shop that they were selling, and it was so cute. It would have looked so fucking good on me, especially like the boob area. But they said it was sold, so damn. Anyways, victim complex, yes. How I just feel like us as humans, it's like obviously we're going to be thinking about ourselves constantly, but sometimes it gets way too much where we're not even thinking about the other person's shoes and like actually conceptualizing that if we're blaming so much of another person or of why things happen to me, and we can't understand the whole like polarity, is that the right word, of the situation, and we think that just everything is at us, or you should have treated me differently because this is how it made me feel. Hold on. Define polarity. The state of having two opposite opinions. Wait, that could work, right? Okay. Anyways. So I would say the past while now, I can't even tell you how long, but honestly, it's been more like present in the past couple months, I would say, that I've just been trying to actively strip away my victim complex. And it's not really in a way of discrediting my feelings where it's like fully removing myself from feeling any sort of bad for myself. It's not to that extent. It's honestly, it's just like allowing myself or challenging myself to always, or always such a big word, but to try to allow and challenge myself to see scenarios and things from like fully a bird's eye view or a 360 view, however you want to call it. And challenging myself in moments that I get so nitty gritty in the detail where the picture is so zoomed in and it is like sucked up my entire mind, where it's like, this is, how I want something to go, or this is exactly how I see this. But instead, just really trying to like take myself out of the situation or just try and zoom out and remember that not everything is about me. Truly. Like, not everything is one, don't take everything personal. And I'm pretty sure I did an episode about that, or I've been wanting to, but I don't think I did because it's part of me wants to speak on it. Part of me feels like I'm so not knowledgeable enough to speak on it because it is something I quote unquote deal with every single day, like fully trying to not take anything personal. But yeah, it's kind of just, I feel like that's the idea of stripping away or fading, however, whatever word you want to use, a victim complex, is not letting yourself take things personal. Like, imagine not, I feel like the police agrees with me. Do you hear that? Hold on. I'm going to stop this. Okay. I had to take a little break because one, the sirens were really loud. Two, I realized what I looked like again in a baseball hat, and then I had to readjust. But let's go back to what I was talking about. Not taking things personal, aka fading a victim complex. So that's just been something that I'm trying to practice a lot on. But I don't know. Let's talk a little bit about the victim complex, like where that shows up in areas of life. Because when I think like that someone has a victim complex, first off, that's just number one thing. It's your ego. Like you can call it a victim complex, but you could also just plainly call it your ego. And it's in everyone. So that some people have it fucking heavy where it's like, dude, do you realize that not everyone is coming the fuck at you? But yeah, everyone has it because it's equal sides of we feel bad about ourselves because of shame, and then the other side is we love ourselves so much that we just care about. It's like we just are in some way being slightly narcissistic. And I use that word lightly because I know the I guess the heaviness or something that word holds. But yeah, it's like both ends of the spectrum. We have self-shame, so we get into victim complex, and it's like I'm not good enough, so this is happening to me. And then also we can get so obsessed with ourselves, and we kind of think that everything is about us. We love ourselves so much that then that victim complex shows up in ways of like I'm better, like I'm superior, I'm better, why would you treat me that way? Or why would this happen to me? You know? And I feel like that could really just be a lot of narcissism too. It's like your victim complex, but it's in a way of just because you're so obsessed with yourself. And then I think it shows up a lot more maybe in when people have intense self-shame and they don't like themselves and they don't love themselves. So, and then they can, like the victim complex is like, life is coming at me because I deserve the lowest of lows. Like, I think that's where I fall. Interesting. Hold on, let me gather my thoughts. I tend to really think that life is coming at me when it's a path in my life situation, in my human experience, that I am seemingly not controlling. Like, that's where it seems I get to be like, hold on. That's where it seems for me like the light board lights the fuck up of victim thinking, you know? When something goes unplanned, something changes, it's like you're on a boat and it just steers another way. Because when I don't feel like I have my hands on it, when I feel like I'm kind of controlling the narrative, then I seem to kind of lose my possible perspective on it. Maybe not perspective. I seem to just like lose my focus when something changes, when something goes unplanned. And then I'm like, I don't deserve this. I'm trying to use it broadly. That's interesting though. That kind of like clicked in my brain where I know I struggle sometimes forgetting what it is like on the receiving end of someone if they kind of treated me badly or treated me like definitely an essence of something I don't deserve. However, there's two sides to every story, and that's kind of the basis of this, like looking at it from a bird's eye view. there are wounds in not just me, but in the receiving end, right? So there's so much more. There's so much more to the landscape, to the painting, to the canvas, whatever. If you want to make it metaphorically, like there's so much more that I cannot see. And I guess that's how it helps me make sense of removing myself from this victim mode. Where it's like there's so much more that I don't actually know. Interesting. I hate the feeling of not being what it like in alignment with, I guess, myself slash the universe. I don't like that feeling, and that's something I want to be able to welcome. Where whenever I do feel like heavier ego or just feeling emo, for example, like I want to allow that, and it is okay. Like I am a human. I'm allowed to, like, we're not these perfect individuals made to know exactly every feeling, emotion to have. So it's allowing that, but also it is a sucky feeling when I do feel like I'm in alignment and I'm in good energy within myself, and then waking up, and I feel like I've spoken about this a lot, but just maybe waking up one day and feeling just more in the dumps and doing things that you wouldn't even like do on a quote unquote good day or a more peaceful day. And it's a sucky feeling, but also those feelings definitely are necessary. They're so necessary, whenever we will realize that or not. And that's what I'm learning as well. Yes, we have a victim complex. That can't just like go away. It's in a spectrum. What? Yeah, spectrum. And I got triggered by the word trum because it made me think of Trump, and I was like, but it's all a spectrum. And it's noticing, it's acknowledging it, it's being like, all right, I hear you, bestie. I know we want to blame. I know we just want to blame, 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 blame. But I don't know, like the idea of blaming someone, I think for me personally, stresses me out because I feel like I've been used to taking the blame. So blaming others genuinely feels uncomfortable for me. But what was I going with that? Oh, just like, yeah. But I feel like to me it is wasted energy. It is wasted energy to just pile a lot on someone else when in some way, like, there's more to the story. You could yourself take some responsibility. That's a big kicker too. And I think that's where our egos get like shot up because we don't want to take any sort of responsibility or acknowledgement of some of our patterns that could have led to a situation of someone treating us poorly when maybe it made a little sense why it happened. I don't know. Or, and that goes without saying, like, a lot of other factors, but I feel like you get what I'm putting down. I have had experiences, a lot of experiences, I think, with, well, a huge experience with surrounding myself with people in my past that had really strong and thick victim complexes. And in some way it was intriguing to me. In some way it was like jealousy is what I'm gathering, is like what I'm feeling, like, or envy, because I felt like I wasn't maybe depressed enough to feel like a victim in certain situations. Me like adjusting because I'm like, damn, I could talk about that for so long. But yeah, I've been surrounded by a lot of people who really love, and past, who really love to just think that everything is coming at them. And it's extremely draining for the other person, for someone who is actively also trying to be there and be present with them and actively trying to kind of take care of them, because then people who have that victim complex and they aren't conscious, or they aren't like in any way self-aware, they use that to manipulate the hell out of someone. And then that goes into fucking gaslighting. And again, it just all comes down to like your ego. And when I say ego, I mean like honestly, essentially your mind. All right, okay. I'm going to shut up because I'm going off into space. But victim complex, that's crazy. And I'm curious on your thoughts and kind of how it shows up for you, and if it's something that you even think about. I think I've just been thinking about it more because I'm noticing myself in reoccurring situations that I'm now starting to look more. It's like, babe, I've been looking inward, what it seems like, for years, right? Of this reoccurring pattern and reoccurring situation. However, I did a lot of blaming. And I think recently I'm just trying to look honestly at myself more and get myself in any way out of this victim idea and see how I show up to these certain reoccurring situations, and where in some way like I faulty, and in where I also thrive. So yeah. Thank you for listening. Let me know if this resonated at all. I would love it. You know, it would be so fucking kind of you if you like rated this. I know that's crazy, but like, you know, give it a 5-star, give it a 4-star, whatever you deem is correct on your, interest in this episode, in this podcast. I would love if you would rate it. And if you're watching this on the tube, like it. That would be cool. All right. Thanks again for just coming and listening and being present. And if you're doing something else, then I'm just honored that I was like there for that. I hope you guys have a great day. And I also hope that this made sense, because again, this is kind of my stream of consciousness. And when Maddie is high, I sometimes like forget that I'm talking out and inside my brain. And let me know if there's any Gemini moons out there that are like the same way, you kind of like your inner monologue. But if I'm talking and I'm also listening to my head, I feel like I forget that you can't hear what's going on in my brain and like my inner monologue. Because sometimes, if you notice, I don't finish a sentence, but I finish it in my brain because I'm also listening. And that's on Take with the Grain of Salt. All right. Bye.